Hey guys, it's ViewMasters Reactions, and we're back with Campaign 2, Episode 42, The Mighty Nein. It is called A Hole in the Plan. I went and got the image. I saw it was Ford and Caleb, Liam and Travis. In the last episode, Ford did have a one-on-one. They talked about it in Talks Machina because Tal'dorei and Liam were part of Talks Machina. But Ford went over to Caleb, had a little talk, said, yo, if shit goes bad, you got this? Basically, that's what he said in so many words. Could you steer the ship, I think is the words he used. I think the question in talks was, it was something like, were you surprised that Ford would ask you to be that guy? I honestly, of all the people, I think Caleb is the most qualified. Bo is a very close second. Here's my rationale, and I might actually talk myself into switching it, but right now, without putting much thought into it, I look at Bo like a little more reckless and aggressive, which I don't really want right now. I feel like too much aggression, pushback with Avantika could result in violence and bad shit, because we're dealing with pirates. Sometimes the aggressive way is the way to go. If we were dealing with people that I thought we could intimidate and were pushovers, 100% Bo should be second in command. At that point, I mean, I wouldn't even have Ford in command, but I mean, this is Ford's tail. If we're dealing with pushovers, we go with Bo. If we're dealing with people that will probably slice our throats over a coin or two, not Avantika, but now we're with the Plank King and all these other dudes. We see he has already scalped a man and is wearing his head or hair. I'm sure they kill people with ease. So we want someone that's a little more calm about the situation. Now, who am I to assume that Caleb will stay calm in all situations, being as the past that he's had with killing his parents and burning people alive? It isn't foolproof, but I feel like in the situation we're in, it makes sense to have Caleb be that guy. That is why I wore the Caleb shirt. I saw he was in the thumbnail. I'm like, let me put on my Caleb shirt. We just had him in talks, so I feel like Caleb's on my mind. Liam O'Brien. Tal'dorei in Talks Machina was saying, I think it was him, was talking about confronting Jametti about the undead thing. That never amounted to anything, which is surprising. I feel like we will see Jametti again. If not, then we just missed out on some weird story, I guess. But let's jump in. You guys want to see more of what I do? Full unedited episodes, all the shows on the channel, seasons out of what you're seeing, hundreds of exclusives you only see on Patreon. The link is at the end. Dozens of shows you'll never see on YouTube. I just don't have time to edit everything. Doctor Who, Person of Interest, the Patreon hour exclusive for every episode. This month started Infinity Train, Steven Universe, Centaur World is into season 2. Toriko is getting into episode 50. Dozens of other shows, all exclusive. The Last of Us and Vox Machina season 2 in January. Check it out. If not, Campaign 2, episode 42, part 1.
You guys ever create?
I made it start from now on where the sound kicks in.
The Mighty
Because
Nein.
every time I start, there's like a little lull.
Water.
So now we're good.
The Mighty Nein.
I don't have my wire obstructed
Made their way
anymore.
to the Menagerie
I
Coast,
fixed
got
everything
swept up in
so
a bunch
nice.
of chaos
so
and found
please.
themselves out at sea amongst the Slovene Islands, taken in by a pirate crew, captained by Captain Avantika.
Captain Avantika. I don't know why the subtitles
Threat
are
of
off.
death, otherwise. Sent to an island to investigate
my sister
a
must have
temple,
had to do something.
learn about seals that possibly are keeping your patron Ukatoa
Some subtitles
at bay.
if you want them. If you want
Made
them,
your
they're
way
there.
back across
You can read them.
the Lucidian Ocean.
What is
towards the
going
Sea of
on? They got
Darktow.
the giggles today.
Actually actively partook in some piracy.
Polite.
Yeah.
Polite piracy.
Polite-ish.
We managed to handle things without any
Whatever it takes
bloodshed.
to we sleep
Well,
tonight.
actually, no. Ford got his
Found
ass
yourselves
sliced
at
up.
the
We
pirate
fought
city of
back, though.
Darktow, surrounded by the Drag Shallow Reef, where you had just arrived with both ships, the Squall Eater and the Mistake. The crew you had hired out of Nicodranas, looking very confused and concerned at their current fate, given the fact they were just hired hands at sea. And you were ushered.
In case
up
you guys are
along the
wondering,
sheer
and you weren't in
cliffs
the live stream
alongside
Friday,
Darktow Isle,
no more alcohol.
along the stone shelf.
Only
within the cavern
Fridays
where
will I
the
drink
Plank
from now
King
on.
himself
Getting
greeted
back
you.
into shape.
Bid you entry to the revelry, this extending band of pirates across this part of the ocean. Laid some ground rules and then set you on your way. And that is where we left off.
Is where we left off.
So
Yeah, I
now,
decided to get
as
back
you
into
descend the
primo shape like I
rain-covered
used to be.
stone Steps
I want to start
that descend
taking
down the
care of
side the
myself.
cliff.
So
How's that for alliteration?
Fridays are my cheat day.
Making
We
your
will
way
drink
towards the now,
heartily on our
darkened
live stream
evening
Fridays.
city of Darktoe, the distant glimmers of interior firelight, slightly emanating from open windows. You can see folks walking through town, the light drizzle threatening to stifle the low torchlight being carried from location to location. You can see the outline of dozens.
It
and
makes
dozens
me
of
want to
ships
watch
that are locked into the
like
shipyard that
historical
surrounds the city,
movies, period
as well
pieces,
as the kind of crooked
Zorro,
outline
Three
of
Musketeers type
nearby
shit.
barricades
Three
set up
Musketeers,
across the
great
reefs that
stuff.
surround the island. Avantika proceeds before you. What would you like to do?
I just recently saw The Count of Monte Cristo on the channel. If you're part of Patreon, you can watch it. It's up on Patreon in full. The Count of Monte Cristo. Amazing movie.
So the group
I
is
got to
us
start
plus
editing those up for
Avantika
YouTube.
And
Her crew?
No, just Avantika. Her crew went to the Bloated Cup.
The Bloated Cup,
We're
that's
headed
correct.
there.
Correct. You assume
Let's
you're
go to
headed
the
back there.
Bloated Cup. I mean, that sounds like a time. I'm going to start rocking the chair back. Jesus, I'm stuck in a hole. A hole. A hole I'm stuck in.
The stairs.
nighttime, right? Sun as well.
Correct.
Yeah.
I catch up to her a little bit.
What was
Hey,
this
Avantika,
called? A hole
Yes.
weird
in
question.
the plan. A hole
Possibly
in
a
the
weird
plan.
answer.
How much do you know? Like, how do you know how to give a
Look
certain
at Laura,
note to
look at Laura.
Avantika? Sorry, the planking. Freudian slip.
Well, when we return into the bay, we are to essentially give the materials, or at least a number of what we've managed to acquire. We are supposed to essentially, what is the word I'm looking for? What is the word I'm looking for?
I don't know. Just
Tithe, I would say.
Matt asks in the
you're
voice
going
of the
through,
other woman.
Customs, and you have to
Or
declare.
the other
Thank you.
woman. It's the
You
woman.
must declare the amount of which you had recently come upon,
Okay.
and from that there is a tithe offered to the Plank King, roughly about 25-30%.
wow.
I always thought it was funny
But we don't have to pay for
when
our ship
people were like,
repairs. We
you could
have
give, you know,
free,
around 25,
asylum here
30%.
within the island.
Why would you
and,
ever give the higher
we are
number
under
unless
strict
the
law that
Plank
if
King
anyone
knew
double
that?
crosses anyone else within the boundaries of the city, they will have the hammer of the Plank King down upon them.
It's very.
It's like the
intense.
higher the
It's
percentage,
a way of life.
you'd
So it's
think
less like a
they think you're a
government
better
and more of
person,
like
but
a
people just
union.
lie about it.
That you buy into.
More or less, yes.
All right.
They're not much into governing, more
But
just
a union with a dictator.
a union with a very hard-headed and forthright union leader.
Death and taxes.
Do you
Can't
ever
avoid
think
them
you
even
could
in
make a good
Pirate
union
Havens.
leader?
Nah, I have my own specific interests. They're much more narrow.
What's on the flask?
Oh.
What do we got? What do we got?
Why? Do you have aspirations?
The Traveler
No.
I didn't.
is
think so.
me
needs
co-pilot, and it's
aspirations?
Blues Traveler.
Well, some of us do. There has to be more to you than just this contradictory, for the sake of being contradictory aspect, huh?
I would love for you to tell me about it someday.
Come, let's have a drink, huh?
Yeah.
First round's on.
Yeah,
Deal.
I like it. All right, let's go. Everyone's fucking Avantika.
You are going to judge me for finger motion. Hold on, everybody, stop the game. Laura Bailey just shamed me for a sexual finger motion at this table after 3.5 motherfucking years. I have seen everything. Resume the game.
Oh my god.
Is the Infinity Gauntlet, and she has 1 stone. Or does she?
My
She
lord.
lost the stone. Technically.
That would be pretty damn funny. I don't think it's going that way, but now I almost kind of want it to just for
Take a look around, maybe.
the entertainment of it all. I feel like Avantika would know better than to go there, but I don't know if it matters. And what does she? I don't know.
We could do that. Sure. I guess.
First drinks on her.
The
I
first
think
drinks
that
on
guy was
her.
wearing a wig.
Oh
shit,
Oh
that's
yes,
right.
yes. He did have.
Yes,
A weird,
he was wearing a
like,
wig.
hairline,
Well,
right?
I mean,
really
hey,
bad made
what's your
wig.
definition of
I mean, the
wig?
hair looked good, but it was really
Maybe
obvious.
that's in fashion here. Maybe we should all go wig shopping.
Ooh.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Captain, how
Look
did
at
the
Matt.
current
Matt's
plank
like,
king get to the position
some of the
that he holds
directions
now,
it
do
goes.
You know?
Well, as far as I have been told, at the very least, this was before my time of joining the revelry, there was a disagreement, and the previous plank king seemed to be in the minority
Okay.
of the side of this disagreement, and the current plank king was in the majority. So they stormed the caverns of the previous plank king and tossed most of his corpse to the rocks below.
Most of the
Little mutiny, eh?
corpse. Most of the corpse.
Did interesting.
I love that he's got a blues
No, it's all-
traveler.
To
Unless
his
I'm
credit,
insane.
the
That's
current plank
that
king
looks
has
like
done a
blues
very
traveler.
fine job of maintaining organization of the revelry.
That's what I was going to ask if you were a fan or not.
It hasn't bothered me. He leaves us well enough alone. He follows the rules. We maintain all of the benefits of being
It's
under
like
the banner.
you got to
and,
deal with one asshole or another.
left
Who
to my own
cares which one it
devices.
is? I mean, maybe the
photos
other
of
guy
yours
was
in
better.
this,
Maybe this
dark
guy's
tone?
better.
Anyone we should
Either
look
way,
out
you're
for?
paying. You're
I mean,
paying a
A
tribute.
number of unsavory types, but I've made a bit of a reputation of being a little.
I'm gonna turn it up a bit, just in case.
People don't like to tangle with that too much, eh?
Yeah, why would you get wrapped up in that? Yeah, let's go grab a drink.
I feel like I could go loud.
How long have you been a pirate?
I'm gonna go really loud.
Let's see, openly on the seas about maybe
I feel like I can go there easily.
12, 13 years.
Easily.
How did you fall into it?
I got sick of
I heard what she said. How long she's been a
following
pirate.
somebody else's orders.
Where do you hail from?
I'll tell you over drinks. This is not the best place to have these discussions, eh? Perhaps after a few rounds. Come, the Bloated Cup.
The bloated cup.
Yeah.
I love it.
As you guys finish descending the stairs
I just want
into
to
the
make sure
city
it's
itself.
loud enough. I think that's good. It's like the
You
song
catch-
in the
there are-
beginning is so loud
There are
it
quite a
throws
few
everything
patrols
off.
through the city. You can see the torch light being held by each as they make their way, just keeping an eye out. You get the sense that there's probably quite a number of volunteers, or at least individuals, that are intent in maintaining the semblance of civility here within Darktoe itself. Leading close towards the Bloated Cup, you can see it's not that far from where you'd set your ship within the shipyard. It's a fairly large two-story tavern, very wide across its bottom.
So we were like right there.
And
Well,
seems to be
yeah.
at least one of maybe two social gathering sites here within the city once the sun goes down. 3 blocks away, you can already hear the music and chatter and laughter and yelling. And as you approach closer and closer, kind of begin to look from the
Are we gonna start meeting
outside
interesting
in,
characters?
The warm
I
light and the
hope
movement of
so.
shadows across the open windows shows you that the place is pretty jam-packed.
I want to meet all sorts.
As you begin to make your way into following
biggest
Avantika to
dude.
the interior,
Find the
you
biggest
hear
dude in the room.
The shouting and burbling
And arm
and
wrestling.
clinking of glasses as the far corner has what looks to be 5 or 6 individuals. You're not sure if they're
It's like knockaround guys. Find the
paid
biggest dude in the
musicians
room.
or just sailors who happen to have a
make
bit of
yourselves known.
experience
Nah,
with
you
fiddle,
probably
a
don't wanna do
drum,
that.
and a flute of some kind. But as the music begins to play, you can see there's one table that has a lot of Avantika's crew. They've kind of pushed a bunch of chairs crammed together, with some bits of kind of dry bread and somewhat soft fruit, some cheeses laid out, and 2 large pitchers of ale already waiting at the get-go. And right off from them, you see a smaller table with everyone you've hired from the mistake, including Orly, all sitting there clutching their glasses, looking around, like, scared shitless. And as soon as you enter, their eyes just turn to you and they go,
Protect us.
They'll do that cafeteria thing. Hey, hey, you want to sit over here?
at which point Avantika goes, "Come, have a seat," and pushes one of the other tables out of the way of a few other people that are already
We
sitting
have
at it. You watch as she just takes
Thrown
her
a
hand,
bunch of them into the some
scoots it
serious
across the table, and
shit.
the elf go, "Ah! and they just kind of spit on the ground and get up and move away. Immediately, you get the
I would
sense that
imagine
there is
some
kind of a
rowdy
power dynamic.
insanity.
Avantika seems to have at least some modicum
Like a
of respect
dusk till dawn
amongst
type
the
of
rest of the
bar, but
riffraff
maybe
within
worse
this
than
tavern.
that. I don't know. That was a pretty bad bar. I mean, like an awesome bar, but pretty.
Pushing
pretty
the
rough.
tables together, kicking a couple of the stools over. It looks like there's enough spots at the table for most of you. One or two you might have to stand or find a place next to the rest of your.
Wasn't it like the titty
hired help.
twister? I think it was called the titty
I'll
twister.
stand you.
All right. You guys all sit down.
In dusk till
Drinks
dawn.
and rounds begin to be passed to each of you. Conversations already mid discussing how you hear bits and pieces about how the blessing of the serpent has been upon us this past month. And, you know, being on the ship with most of the crew, they haven't been terribly social with you. You know, they've helped you and guided you in learning a few things, but there's still very much the separation and attention that you're the newcomers and the strange new shiny thing in their captain's eye. This is the first time you've seen them a little bit, you know, 3 sheets to the wind as a group, and they're talking openly.
All right.
And
this is the time to
Avantika
get some
has
info.
a definite zealotry to her. But you start noticing members of the crew and why they are with her, or at least when they've been there, they've also bought into
Got about
these
another
tales of
10
Uk'otoa.
minutes or so.
And you get the sense that they believe that this path that she's following will lead to her success,
Which
and
is
by
their
default, probably
success.
their success.
They'll be
How many of them are true?
right
believers?
under
Make
the
an
controller of the waters.
You're no good at those, right?
I'm terrible at these.
I want to know what blood type they are.
I want to know what blood
26.
type they are. 26.
Okay, that'll do.
That'll do.
Yeah, okay. You get the sense that Vera, who's the
Vera's
older
the one
human, the
we don't
tough-looking,
Because she got
woman
demoted.
who was her quartermaster,
Was her
before Vanessa
quartermaster.
Ford, is definitely the most invested in this.
I feel like if anybody would
spiritual
sabotage
journey
or
we're all
betray us, it's her.
embarking on with
But
Captain at the
maybe
helm.
she's that loyal that she just
You also
follows
feel
orders.
that Ipes, who's the gnome,
The one that came
second
on with
mate
us.
that you've encountered previously, in a very similar way, is completely invested, eyes wide. This, you know, his general banter tends to be a little crazed
I
and
love that we
sporadic,
got the
but whenever they're
commotion,
talking about
the sound.
the Great Serpent, and now with phrasing of the Leviathan, as the titles become more prominent with Discovery, there's a reverence to his eyes and an attentiveness that is out of character for him. So you mark Vera and Ipes as two very, very intent believers behind Avantika.
All right.
Is there anybody who's awkwardly into it, but like definitely
mooks?
would probably walk away if they
when you
could?
want
Is
to
there
give your
anybody who's
player
a little-
You
cool
get the sense
things,
that
it can be
Boulder got the
fun to
ogre.
make them responsible. Keep bringing their
half
helpers
understands it,
up
and is more just
make
excited because
one or
everyone
two
else is
notables
excited.
so the party bonds
It's like a
are
dog that gets really wound up when everyone around is talking loud.
I've heard that
That's kind of
term,
Boulder gut.
but usually used as
A
like
number of the
a
deckhands appear to be invested, but they're less intensely driven,
muscle,
and
like
more
the
just
muscle, a couple mooks.
excited that their captain's excited, and maybe starting to
Doofuses,
consider that there is
like
something to this now that they've
thugs.
seen the things they've seen, and the powers that she's acquired. That's a good spread of what you've managed to gather.
That'll do.
That'll
Grab
do.
a drink and I'll head over to where Vera's sitting.
That'll do.
Okay, Vera is sitting directly to the right of Avantika, and there's not much space to sit next to her, but you could grab a stool and squeeze in to her right side.
I'm
Actually, I'll take a
curious.
drink
Is
and I'll
Vera going to give
plop
us
it
like
down right in front of her, and I'll
attitude,
take a knee
or is
actually on
Vera
the
like,
floor,
hey,
so
whatever
I'm
Avantika
kneeling next to her
wants?
on the other side
Let's
of
go with
Avantika.
me.
Okay.
And I'll say, hey, listen, no hard feelings, right?
I like
There is
it.
no hard feelings. I understand the reasoning. And the captain's word is law.
All right.
I am excited to see the great things you accomplish as the quartermaster of our ship.
Right, whatever's best for the ship.
Precisely.
All right.
And for the captain.
If
Well, I
Vera,
feel the presence of Uk'otoa smiling on all of us, and I know that our partnership here will be a
look at
beneficial one.
Mauritius kind of smirking like
can
he
only
is
agree.
selling some bull. Well, actually, I mean, it isn't bull. It's not
This
really
has been fun.
bull. Bull.
If you need anything as your quartermaster, you just
Like
let me
he's
know.
laying it on thick, but it is
Aye, aye.
actually real.
Captain. Looks to Avantika. Vontica right
That
now
is good
deep
to
in the
know. That is
cups.
exactly how
At
I
this
was
point, the
feeling.
figure turns
Is
around the
Vera
corner.
somebody
You
that
see
is
a
so
male
into
gnome,
the cause that she will do
short,
whatever it
maybe in,
takes?
like his 40s
And
or
it appears
so, with spiked hair. It's thinning on the top, but you can see he's like taking thick balms of some kind to try and make it look intensely young, and failing halfway. Big mutton chops that come down to a very pointed chin. And he's dressed in fairly decent clothing, like a nice silk vest with like billowing sleeves out of his shirt, with some bangles that kind of clink around his wrists. He comes and finds way on the opposite side.
I
and,
definitely want to say,
looks across
like
to
an actual-
Avantika.
Someone draw this
grinning.
for me.
Well. It's been a while since we've seen you around here.
She turns to him and goes, "Hi, Soris! You're
Soris.
back from that fool's errand, I see. How was the shattered teeth?" He goes,
Foggy and cold as shit. How goes your cloud chasing journeys, love?
She goes, grand. We might have scored a fine shipwreck and a promise of salvage, eh? Looks back to him. You up for hire, perhaps? Yes.
Tempting, but nah.
Who does
I'm
he
still fresh
remind
off
me
the
of?
water.
He reminds
Kinda wanna
Soros
enjoy myself a
reminds me
while.
of somebody.
It's like, all right, very well. We'll be in port for a day or two while we get some repairs done.
I
If you
dig
change your mind, well, just start shouting. I'm sure we'll find your annoying voice easy enough. And he goes,
Sure that is, eh? You're all new around here.
We're new pirates. Are you a pirate? I mean, I guess we're all pirates, right? Everyone's a pirate here?
No. At the moment, I'm a civilian and a drunkard.
Oh.
Shattered teeth. What's a
At the
shattered
moment,
teeth?
I'm a
Did your
civilian
teeth
and
shatter?
a
Is that
drunkard.
place? Is
I
that-
like the
It's a
honesty.
series of islands to the south of here.
Soros is already in my
We
good
know
graces.
that because we're pirates too, and we know those things.
I could fill a book with what I don't know.
Sorry, I didn't catch your name.
I'm
It
sure
was
many could fill many
Soros.
books of what
Soros
they
Cade.
don't know.
Soris K.
What's your name?
It's
I'm
impossible
Ford.
to know everything.
Nice to meet you.
Ford?
Forward.
All right.
I
What is
constantly
it that
try to
are you a
educate
captain,
myself
or
on
do you do
things.
something else that's
And half
more
the time I feel like an
specialized?
idiot
Me?
about
No.
half the
I'm a
world.
sniper.
A sniper?
What do you snipe with?
Things? Why are you so curious?
We want to hire
You're
you.
an interesting fellow.
Speak for yourself, so. What's your name?
My name is
I
Philip.
love it.
make a deception
Philip.
check.
I love that his name is Philip too.
Name check.
Oh, name check. Strong
Because I have
name.
my contacts and I can barely see it.
11?
That's 11, right? So that is.
Oh, okay. With the
or
modifier.
17. He goes,
Okay, Philip. And what's your specialty? What do you bring to the crew?
17. Oh, I am a navigator. Newer, but eager and looking forward to plying my trade.
Quick, Philip, which way's north?
It's right that way.
Look at that.
That's actually
That's
pretty good.
amazing,
That's
huh?
actually pretty good.
You can spin it. Spin him around a couple times. Now, which way's north?
It's still over towards the doorway over there.
Right, huh?
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Just points towards the
A few
doorway.
odds and things. Mainly with longbow. Good shot there, but an eye that can see things on the horizon. Mainly live up in the crow's nest, you know, keep an eye out.
You know, this is the first time on these islands, and I don't know much about it at all. Is there any kind of legal system here? Do you know what I mean? Or is it just, you know, is it whatever?
Survival of
joking,
the
right?
fittest. He's joking, right?
I'm afraid not. His
Survival of
bailiwick
the fittest.
apparently is being curious and clueless.
I am a big reader, and there is a lot I don't know, like my tall friend over here. But I mean, there must be trouble that breaks out. There must be bar
I'm
fights.
assuming
and,
there is
Of course,
like
bar
pirate
fights are fun. That's
rule.
part of the reason we live here.
Well, I can see the
I
appeal,
understand
but what
the
happens if
chaos
there's something
of all
riskier,
that.
or it causes theft of property for someone important, or
For a
If you're not a member
10-year
of the Revelry,
span,
thieving from
I've
another
told
member
you
of the
guys
Revelry,
this.
and it gets
I would
found
go
out,
out
it's probably
bar
planking.
hopping,
Planking makes a
drinking,
judgment
rough, rowdy
based on
places.
that.
There'd
Some
be
sort of
bar
reparations,
fights
or-
every other day, and it was totally normal. No one
Plank
called the
King
cops.
is
The cops
the law.
may have gotten involved once or
Cool,
twice
that's
because it got bad.
But you
Really
can still
bad.
fight other people.
Yeah,
For
it's
fun.
Everyone literally was like, "Yo,
Just
I'm gonna
looking for a
kick your."
fight?
It was
No
like
killing gesture.
angered fights, but people just accepted
Don't
that you
fight
would
each
beat
other.
each other
Why?
up, go back
Because
in,
that's crazy.
have a beer, and go to
Never for
home.
the first punch.
Go to home.
So, anytime. He like taps the side of one
It
of his
was like an
jowls. You
accepted
hear the
thing.
ruffle of his fingers through his.
It
like,
was normal to
somewhat
go out,
curled,
drink, fight,
mutton chop on the side.
and then go home.
Just
Resistance.
Grabs a drink and like Without breaking eye contact.
But like people didn't steal and stab and shoot. It wasn't like there was like a
the worst
code.
influence. I'm gonna say do it.
We are trying to get the lay of the land here.
Tusk tooth.
Tusk tooth.
Punch him in the chin.
Punch him in the chin.
Roll an attack.
I love it. I wasn't sure if she would. Look at Bo was up there like clinched.
Might have gotten to that, perhaps.
Unarmed strike.
Unarmed strike. 14.
15.
No.
I
15.
think
15 hits. So you do 1 point of
Did
damage plus your
14.
strength modifier.
Oh, 4 points of damage.
Boom, right across his chin. He falls to the ground, turns around, rubs his chin. It was a surprising bit of power there for someone your size. Come at me! And he dives at
I love it.
16.
See, this
16.
is like, I mean,
he
sometimes
beats
we
you to
would
17.
spar. A lot of my friends were
For
amateur
a small
MMA
size,
fighters,
he's
and we
quick,
would
and you watch
spar
him
and
kind of
stuff.
juice
Lots
to
of
one side,
martial
turns
arts
around and
training.
just go for a
20
haymaker to the
years.
side of your face. That's cocked.
So this kind of
That's gonna
stuff was
be
normal too.
a
Some of us would
14
get
to
drunk
hit.
and
Oh, I
just
turn and he
beat
hits
the
my
shit
shield.
out of each other.
Ping! Yeah!
Oh, and I swipe at him with my tail and try to trip him.
Go for it. Make another attack roll.
I usually always lost because I wasn't as well trained as
19.
these other dudes.
19. Are you just
But
doing damage, or are you trying to
just
actually
enjoyed
shove
the-
him and knock him prone?
the sparring.
Just knock him prone.
Okay, so go ahead and make it. That's your athletics check, actually.
Oh, okay, so I would add 13 plus athletics.
He's gonna make his acrobatics try and
16.
dodge. Natural 19. He manages to leap in the air, and your tail just woof, hits the side of the table and comes to one side. The drinks begin to spill. Everyone reaches out and grabs, prevents them from being knocked over.
Our drinks are like standing up.
I love it. I know. I
As soon as
imagine
you
that
turn back
everyone
and say
like
that, you look, and
instantly.
he's not anywhere to be seen.
Oh.
Then you hear this under the table. You glance down as you watch them leaping up from between your legs and the table to uppercut you right to the chin. That's going to be 18 to hit.
Hits.
18.
He just manages to hit.
Hits.
So you take 3 points of damage. Crack right from underneath the chin. Poof, up from you feel your jaw clink into your teeth. That's horrible, like screeching sound. It hurts. You can like feel the numbness in your face from the impact. After he hits you, he darts off around from behind, and you see he's gonna probably go in
This is
for
amazing.
a hold. But you have your go.
Okay, I'm
But
gonna
you have your go.
Reach out and try to.
We are
just
already
punch
past
him in the back of the,
the
head.
time, but we're finishing this.
Inelegant, but perfect.
Oh no, natural one.
Oh my
You
God!
swing
This
for his head,
fight
and he
might get lost
grabs
here.
your hand and goes, and he goes to pull you forward to go for a headbutt.
Ooh,
That's gonna be
19
a
to
19 to
hit.
hit.
fuck me.
Crack! Right to the front of the
Jester
forehead and the
is
nose.
getting
You immediately
handled.
feel the blood beginning to pour from underneath. Behind you guys watch the crowd. A lot of people's attention have turned to this bar fight. A few of them are now like backing up and getting their drinks ready to watch. Somebody else on the table goes like and punches somebody else and starts another aspect. And now there's another bar
See,
fight.
now everyone
beginning on
else
the
is
side corner.
fighting.
So
This
you're go.
sometimes happens too.
How much-
Because then
Even
some
damage
people will
is
jump
that?
in and be
Three
like,
points
all right,
of
enough.
damage.
And they'll be
Yeah,
like,
just 3
mind your
points.
fucking
Okay.
business. And then those
Okay,
guys
okay,
will
okay.
fight. And then
Oh, no,
friends
should
of
I be
yours
mean?
will think that they've had enough or you've had enough. And then their friends and your friends will all start
I'm
fighting.
gonna grab him after he hits
It's
my head.
usually
and I'm
always a
gonna try to knee
chaotic
him.
time.
Okay, go for it. Roll for an attack.
But it usually can end with all of you having a
That's
shot and a
22.
beer and
Yeah,
you all go
definitely
home
hits.
4
bloody.
points of damage right between the legs.
Another 4 points there. All right.
Ball damage.
So, oh, you watch his eyes kind of squint and roll backwards a bit, and he goes down into a crouching position. Writes himself in almost a Mai Tai stance.
Below the belt.
That's 11. He goes and tries to swing, and you just parried off to the side without an issue. Go ahead and retort.
All
I'm
right.
gonna grab his wrist and try to spin him around.
Go for it.
16.
16 hits.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Spin him
grab and try to
around.
just
Like
grab
put him
both
in a
his arms and, like,
restraint?
hold him onto me.
Because you're grappling?
Yeah,
All right,
restraint.
so just go ahead and roll again for your athletics.
Grapple. Twist
no,
him
that
around,
was real
kind of put him in an
bad.
arm lock,
One.
like a reverse.
Literally a natural one.
He
So he
rolled
tries to
a
squeeze out,
natural
but
one.
you got a firm grip on his wrist, and you pull him back in, and you're now holding him until he's
Say
grabbed.
uncle. Say uncle.
Say uncle.
No, never! It's his turn. He's going to try and slam his head backwards into your face. That's natural 18. That's going to be
24 to hit.
22. 24.
Cracks you
All right,
in
so
the
take another 3
face
points of damage.
again.
Crack! It hits you. For a second, you're afraid it knocked a tooth out, but you go ahead and feel with your tongue, and it's still there.
Do I still have a hold of him?
Yeah, you still have him. He's still grappled.
Okay, I'm gonna.
We are going.
I'm gonna turn my head and try to hit him with my horn.
Ooh, nice.
I love that Jester is literally fighting this random dude for fun. I mean, the dude's into it. The dude is
19 hits, takes
clearly
another
into
4
it.
damage.
Saurus.
Crack! It like scrapes across his temple and it almost gouges an eye. And he turns to you. He's like, you're rambunctious, aren't you?
Yeah.
He's gonna go ahead and attempt to throw you off.
I
over
almost
his
feel like the
shoulder,
horns
pull you
are
into a roll.
like borderline
You
a
have to make an athletics
weapon.
acrobatics
You don't
check
want to
against
start
him.
slicing people up. Like, we never brought knives or anything into it. There were never like weapons.
6.
I almost feel like a horn is like a knife.
Breaks free and slams you onto your back. You're now prone from the reversal, but you haven't. It's your round, so you can get up or attack if you want to.
Ooh, can I do like a breakdancing move where I like spin around and jump up?
It's all in
Yeah,
good
sure.
fun, I know. And Saurus
That
didn't seem
episode
to
of
mind.
Game of Thrones.
But we don't
Sure,
want to.
yeah.
We don't want to push the limits to bar
you want
fighting.
to-
Mario?
Arya.
Because there's a code. There's rules to bar fighting.
She's just drinking and watching.
We are way over the time. All right, guys, there is the end of Part 1, Campaign 2, Episode 42. I was trying to finish the fight. Every time I think it's the last roll, she was saying, say uncle, Jester was like grappling, say uncle. Every time I think it's almost over, there's like 5 more rolls, and we're already over by like 5 or 10 minutes. I don't remember exactly. I just know that we have till 1:55 and we're already at 40 minutes, and I still got to do the hour Patreon, which is basically going to leave less than 15 minutes for Part 2. Not the worst, but we got way more in Part 1. Either way, Patreon hour exclusive will finish this fight. I love the fact that we are in this all-out playful bar fight. I did say in the episode, I don't know about the use of the horn. The horn is almost like a weapon. The fact that it could slice and slash, I said it in the episode, for a 10-year period, I would go out every night and drink heavily. 6, maybe 7 nights a week for 10 years in my 20s, during like my college days into my early 30s. Then I got a DUI and destroyed my body and my health. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to recoup, get back into shape. And I basically quit all that craziness. But every other day I would get into a bar fight. I've probably been easily, I could, like, no joke, 80 to 100 bar fights easily. But they were most of the time what you just saw. Most of the time, people either goofing around, getting drunk, playful between friends, MMA fighters that I had that were amateur, people that literally were just aggression, testosterone-fueled monsters, and I was good, but not like professional level. So I would spar these guys and we'd get drunk and I would take beatings. It was all for learning experiences and because I was just a crazy lunatic. But maybe 3 times I could remember did it get to the point where it actually got crazy violent, cops had to get involved, and people took it out of hand, bringing in weapons. Once a gun came involved, and that wasn't like a good thing, obviously. 99% of the time, it was what you just saw with Saurus. But the times it wasn't, it got crazy quick, and things could have went really downhill, and I could have died, and this and that. So I'm not condoning it, but I totally understand what's going on, and you get a J rant because I had stories the whole time going through my head. Bars were my life, so the fact that this entire episode, for the most part, was in the bar, we're starting to read people while they're drunk, we're meeting new characters. I like that Ford had the mind to sit and talk to Vera, because I didn't know if that was going to come up. I'm thinking the whole time, how do we know we could trust Vera? How do we know? Ford sits down and goes, yo, what's the deal? Could we trust you flat out? And Vera's like, I think that the captain picked you for a reason. I understand why she picked you. We're all very into the whole Ukatoa thing. She didn't say that specifically, but that's basically what she led us to believe. Whatever the captain says, I'm good with. You are the chosen one, my friend. Let's continue this journey together. So we know we're good with Vera, unless she's totally full of shit and lying. But we tried to read these people, and for the most part, I feel like we could trust what they're, thinking and saying. They truly believe this. So we are in the middle of this fight. I'm jumping into the Patreon hour. You guys let me know what you think. I'm loving what we're doing right now. We're in Pirate Island in the bar, the Bloated Cup, a crowded, crazy place. Saurus, amazing. He sounds and acts so much like somebody I remember. I'm trying to think of what I'm thinking of. I used to watch the movie Snatched all the time. Bare knuckle fighter Brad Pitt just laying into people. Scrappy, skinny, lean little dude compared to the giants he fought, but he would win every time. I'm thinking that when Saurus comes to mind. Either way, jumping into the Patreon hour. You want to see more of what I do? Full unedited episodes, all the shows on the channel, seasons ahead of what you're seeing, hundreds of exclusives you'll only see on Patreon. The link is in front of me. Dozens of shows you'll never see on YouTube. I just don't have time to edit it all. Doctor Who, Person of Interest, the Patreon hour exclusive for every episode. We just started. Infinity Train, Steven Universe, Centaur World, My Little Pony Gen 5, The Last of Us, and Vox Machina Season 2 will start in a month. Check it out. If not, comments down below, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.